All right, so my camera battery's low, and my computer screen is broken. But I felt like this had to be done. It had to be done. We lost a legend today, to say the least. That would probably be an understatement. And I think that's best exemplified by the amount of people I've seen outpouring, for a lack of a better word, of the passing of a one Ozzy Osbourne. And I've lost a lot of musical heroes who I've been quite fond of and very important to my life. And that's part of getting into music from before you were around, I guess, right? So, like, Tom Petty, David Bowie, Clarence Clemens, Leslie West, Scott Weiland, Chris Cornell, Charlie Watts, to name a few. Lemmy, I remember when Lemmy passed away. Eddie Van Halen, that was a big one. And I could go on and on and on. Brian Wilson. But I would not say personally that any of those people had as much of an impact on my life as Ozzy Osbourne. So I was driving today to drop off a guitar at Kruiser's rehearsal spot. And on my way back, Mr. Crowley came on the radio. And I just blasted that song because of how much I love it. I didn't know he had passed away. And then I found out he passed away. And I just thought, man, that is bizarre that song was just playing. And then I thought about that again later. And I realized, you know what, it's actually not that weird that song was playing, because since first getting into really rock music in general, there really hasn't been that many days that have passed without me listening to a song without him on vocals, without Ozzy on vocals, that is. And I think that just shows a lot. Like, you're not even thinking about it, just he's been such a big part of my life, his music. And a lot of people's. Anyone who's into heavy metal owes basically everything to Black Sabbath, whether they enjoy their music or not. It all started there. It wasn't, anyone else. There were other artists that were similar, but not quite like them. I mean, I think of the song Black Sabbath. That just sounds evil, man. There's not really that many songs that sound that evil, even to this day. So I can remember the first time I saw him was my dad had like a 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame DVD. It had all different artists playing on it, including Metallica, who I wasn't like that a fan of that type of rock music at that time. I was very young. They had a guy named Ozzy Osbourne come up and play with them. Never seen him before. And they did some Black Sabbath songs like Iron Man. And I think I remember thinking, okay, I recognize that song. Who doesn't know that? And he's got his signature circle glasses on. And then he takes them off. He's got the black eyeliner on. And I just thought to myself, like, who is that guy? And that's something that made him so special. I think that's a lot of people's first reaction. You're like, what is this guy's deal? And you see interviews of him, and obviously the reality show, and that's just kind of who he was, right? Just a quirky, bizarre guy. So then, I watched that. I start getting into more hard rock style music later on, and I have Black Sabbath Greatest Hits. And that made a huge mark on me. I mean, so many songs: Children of the Grave, Supernaut, Snowblind, obviously War Pigs, Iron Man. What else was on there? Changes. Just a lot of great songs, and just being just blown away by the power of that band. And also later then discovering some more tracks of theirs, like Symptom of the Universe. That song had a really big impact on me. And then listening to Blizzard of Oz and hearing Randy Rhoads on guitar, but not only Randy Rhoads on guitar, but Ozzy's vocals. And listening to that, Diary of a Madman, No More Tears, and then getting into Black Sabbath's, original run of albums. So and I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can, this video. But yeah, just so much music that was amazing. And I think for guys like myself growing up on rock and roll, Ozzy Osbourne, he just resonated with kind of like, I guess for lack of a better word, just kind of like misfit rock and roll kids, because he's not like a Robert Plant. He's not like some sexy rock star guy. He was more of an outcast, and he was a funny dude and just seemed so cool. I think something that's sad is there's a big crowd of people that know who he is from the reality show and maybe Crazy Train and all that, but have no idea what an impact he made on music as a whole with Black Sabbath. When I was a kid growing up learning guitar, I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to play guitar for Ozzy Osbourne's band, because I just loved Randy Rhoads and Zakk Wylde so much. And the thing is, now in retrospect, I remember thinking that as a kid, but there were a lot of kids that thought that. Older, like back from the 80s, but also like people my age growing up in the 2010s. They wanted to be Ozzy's lead guitarist. Yeah, so that's, you don't think about that when you're a kid, but now just like the impact. So yeah, I'm at a loss for words, honestly. Just I wanted to do this video as tribute. It's the least I could do. Yeah, he transcended heavy metal, and I think it's really cool that he did that last show. It's almost like he just had to do that last show. I mean, we're 2 weeks out from it now, and he passed away. And he did that. It was a great event. I watched some of it as much as I could. I didn't have the pay-per-view of it, and I obviously wasn't there. But to have that last performance, it feels awesome that he made it to do that. And also, it's the highest grossing charity concert, I believe. So he left not only doing an awesome concert, but making a positive impact in the world. And I honestly think that's pretty meaningful. Went towards Parkinson's research. So, wow, what a career. What a career. I was lucky enough to see him in 2018, actually probably one of his last concerts ever in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and it was a great show. The band was amazing. He was amazing. So many cool songs. Very underappreciated vocalist. Just listen to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album, Sabotage album, Volume 4. Great vocals. So, thank you, Ozzy. Thank you, Black Sabbath. Thank you to everyone, involved in bringing his music to life, because it made a pretty big impact on me. And, if I live to be 76 years old, that's how old Ozzy was when he died, from now until I'm 76, let's say, it's going to be weird that he's not around, because that whole time I will be listening to Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne's music. That whole time. I will never stop listening to them. So he is gone from the earth, but he left an impact so immense that it's going to probably never go anywhere, his music. So yeah, post a tribute in the comments. Maybe share a cool story you have in relation to his music. What your favorite Ozzy Osbourne song is, what your favorite Black Sabbath song is, what your favorite album is. And I'm Liam Huser. You can follow me and Kruiser, my band, on all the social media links in the description. Thank you guys for watching.